It is now time to take a look at all of the Seattle Seahawks undrafted free agent signings. So here's the look at our first group. We've got Emmanuel Beal, linebacker from Oklahoma, Tana Carew, Poona Ford, John Franklin III from FAU, and Marcell, Frazier, defensive end from Missouri. So I'm going to pick out right now Emmanuel Beal to talk about. Linebacker out of Oklahoma, he was a junior college transfer who started both his seasons at Oklahoma and was named honorable mention All Big 12 in 2016 and 17. A guy who led the Sooners with 95 tackles, 7 for loss, and posted a half sack as a senior. He's constantly around the ball and makes those positive plays. Beal offers possibilities as a one-gap linebacker or a potential strong safety at the next level for the Seahawks. Next guy I like is Poona Ford, defensive tackle from Texas. He was a 2-year starter, named Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year after making 34 tackles, 8 for loss, with 1 sack and 1 forced fumble in 2017 to earn his invitation to the Senior Bowl. His lack of height is an issue at just 5'11", but he's a beast to move in the middle, and Seattle needs that interior defensive line help, and I think they may have just found that in Ford. Next guy I want to talk about is Marcell Frazier, defensive end from Missouri. He led Missouri with 15.5 tackles for loss and 7 sacks while making 40 tackles and forcing 1 fumble last season. He's extremely explosive, firing off the snap with a quick first step and works his hands. So as a terrific pass rusher in college and enough ability to make it as a third down rush specialist at the next level, this was a great get for the Seahawks. So let's go ahead and check out our next group of 5. We've got Jason Hall, the safety out of Texas, Albert Havili, Chris Hawkins, Brad Lundblade, and Marcus Martin. First guy I want to point out is Jason Hall, the safety right out of Texas. He was a 3-year starter for the Longhorns who lost the starting role though as a senior, only recording 22 tackles with 1 interception, 1 sack, a forced fumble, and 3 pass breakups in 2017. He's an aggressive player who moves quickly up the field, a serviceable defensive back with potential at strong safety and on coverage units for the Seahawks. Next up is Chris Hawkins, safety for USC. In 2017, Pro Football Focus named him their All Pac-12 first team after the Trojans' conference championship season. During his entire college career, Hawkins recorded 234 total tackles, 4 sacks, and 4 interceptions. With the release of Sherman and safety Cam Chancellor's future unclear, the Seahawks plan to rebuild this defense and is headed in the right direction with the addition of Hawkins. Let's take a look at our next group. Jake Ohnesorge, Skyler Phillips, Jacob Pugh, Caleb Scott, and Vian Talamaivo. First guy I want to talk about is Skyler Phillips, the guard out of Idaho State. He was a 4-year starter who earned third-team FCS All-American honors and an invitation to the Senior Bowl. He's a big, powerful blocker, quick with his hands, properly places them into defenders. He was a solid, dominant small school blocker, but he still has some developing to do. Next up is Jacob Pugh, linebacker out of Florida State. He was a 2-year starter for the Seminoles who made 21 tackles last season. He's hardworking. He's a hardworking athlete that's unfortunately coming off a fairly disappointing season, but possesses the size and speed to play at the next level. But my concern is that he must show consistency and pick up his production in the NFL. Here is our last group. We've got Karan White, Taj Williams, Troy Williams, and Eddy Wilson. First guy I want to point out is Karan White, the wide receiver out of West Virginia. He was a junior college transfer who started both his seasons for the Mountaineers. He was named honorable mention All Big 12 and caught 61 passes for 1,004 yards and 12 touchdowns last season. He's a nice-sized receiver with dependable hands and displays tremendous quickness and seems to fit the mold of what the Seahawks like in their receivers. Last guy I want to mention is Eddy Wilson, the defensive tackle out of Purdue. A 2-year starter for the Boilermakers who made 27 tackles and 1 sack last season, fires off the snap with a quick first step, picking up a lot of momentum up the field, and is a tough guy to stop. Wilson flashed some big-time ability last season along with struggling against some top competition. He will need some time to develop at the next level, but all around a great get for the Seahawks. But that was your Seattle Seahawks report. Make sure to go ahead and like the page Seattle Seahawks from Chat Sports so you get a notification every time we go live. Until next time, I'll see ya.